Real love in the pines. In a quirky little town nestled among the towering pine trees of Oregon, a determined indie filmmaker from San Francisco, Jamie Callahan, finds herself reluctantly taking on the mission to save what local critics crowned the most absurd film of the decade, titled Necromancer's Forest. Her dream of shooting a heartfelt summer romance seems to be spiraling into disaster, especially after an awkward encounter with the town's fierce and beautiful deputy sheriff, Riley Cross. Riley, a no-nonsense woman with deep roots in the community, is plagued by the predicament of a rogue group of prankster locals who seem hell-bent on ruining the film set. As she tries to maintain order and keep the eccentric crew in line, she finds herself constantly at odds with the well-meaning yet irritatingly ambitious Jamie, who can't seem to accept that her grand vision for the film might not resonate with the town's values. With the stunning Oregon landscape as their backdrop, the pair becomes unwilling partners as they navigate the chaos created by the enigmatic saboteurs. Filming and law enforcement collide in humorous ways, leading to mismatched schedules, unintended mishaps on set, and an undeniable chemistry that neither can ignore. On her second day in town, Jamie sat in her small rental car, glaring at the map app on her phone that clearly wasn't helping her situation. She could not afford to be late. A film that was already teetering on the edge of disaster needed her at the helm, steering it back on course. How can a road be a lockdown zone? She muttered to herself, frustration bubbling beneath the surface as she fumbled with the steering wheel. After several wrong turns and a few too many deep breaths, she finally spotted a small dirt pathway to her right. That's it. The turn-off. With a rush of excitement, she swung the car across the lane. Unexpectedly, a burst of blue and white flashed past her peripheral. Jamie's heart raced as she realized she had come within inches of colliding with a parked police cruiser. "Oh great," she exclaimed, bracing herself for confrontation. The door of the cruiser swung open, revealing Riley, her expression a blend of annoyance and disbelief. "You have got to be kidding me," the deputy said, eyeing Jamie with crossed arms. "Sorry. I'm new in town," Jamie blurted, waving her hands in a desperate attempt to defuse the situation. "New or not, you can't just swing into a police barricade like it's a film set." Riley's tone was stern, but there was a flicker of amusement in her deep-set eyes. "I'm Jamie, the director." Jamie introduced herself, sensing a shift in Riley's demeanor. "They sent me here to salvage a movie, if we can keep the locals from causing problems." Riley raised an eyebrow. "What's the movie about?" It's a romantic fantasy about witches," and Jamie hesitated. "Love. It's really sweet." Riley couldn't suppress a grin at that. "Right. So you must be ready for unexpected surprises then." With that, their banter took a turn as unexpected as Jamie's sudden arrival in town. A friendship, perhaps even a bond, convinced them both that they'd be stopping the mischief-makers together. Day by day, as they worked side by side, Jamie's slightly chaotic filmmaking style began to rub off on Riley. In return, Riley taught Jamie the finer points of blending into the small-town culture and respecting its traditions. The two women found themselves confronted with not just the challenge of wrapping up filming, but the realization that together they could create something genuinely beautiful, if they could properly navigate their very different worlds. And as the pine trees whispered secrets of the forest, Jamie realized there was more to uncover here than just the truth behind the sabotage. There was the possibility of real love blooming amidst the quirks of life in a small town. "Let's show them a movie they'll never forget," Jamie said with determination, her voice brimming with enthusiasm. "Just as long as it isn't about zombies," Riley teased, a warm smile gracing her lips. Both women laughed, and as their hands accidentally brushed while reaching for the same coffee cup, they paused to savor the moment, knowing that a spark had been ignited, turning the adventure into a new and thrilling chapter of their lives together. The days rolled on in picturesque Ikawenu, and as the filming commenced, the local townsfolk began to take notice of the odd pair caught up in their chaotic endeavors. Jamie, with her loud laughter and unique style of directing, sparked attention wherever she went. Meanwhile, Riley, with her practical approach to police work and a sly sense of humor, became a staunch protector of Jamie during their film shoot, often stepping in when the townsfolk began to murmur their discontent. "I can't believe you actually want me to be a zombie extra in this silly movie," Riley grumbled one afternoon, half joking as they stood with a group of costumed locals on set. "It's going to be fun." "Trust me," Jamie responded, bouncing on the balls of her feet with excitement. "And besides, this will help build community spirit." Riley rolled her eyes but couldn't suppress her smile. Jamie's enthusiasm was infectious, and it spread beyond the film set. The townspeople began to warm up to Jamie, even if they continued to grumble at the concept of Hollywood taking over their quiet town. Between takes, the duo had taken to exploring the beautiful landscape together, with Riley showing Jamie the hidden gems of the area, from stunning waterfalls hidden among the pines to small cafes that served the best coffee anyone could find in Oregon. The more time they spent together, the more their camaraderie deepened, each woman discovering new facets of the other. One evening, during a particularly long filming stretch, the crew found themselves standing in the middle of a glowing sunset, bathed in the warm orange and pink hues of dusk. Jamie, caught up in the moment, turned to Riley. "Wouldn't it be great to shoot a scene right here?" Riley leaned against a nearby tree, arms crossed as she watched the colors reflecting off Jamie's face. "You know, I think you're getting quite good at this directing thing," she replied, admiring the way Jamie lit up with passion. "Just wait until you see the finished product. I know it'll blow everyone's minds." Jamie's eyes sparkled with dreams of success. "And maybe we can even make them understand how awesome small-town life can be." "But you know it's not just about the film, right?" Riley challenged gently. "It's about the people, what they value. This community has heart, Jamie." Nodding with sincerity, Jamie stepped closer. "That's why I want to capture that essence. I never had a place that felt like home until now. I want to preserve it, celebrate it." The warmth in the air shifted slightly, filled with an electric connection as Riley looked at Jamie, a mixture of admiration and an unspoken understanding passing between them. The moment lingered, but before either could dwell on it longer, a loud crash echoed nearby, a scene from their film gone awry as an errant prop fell off its stand, scattering the crew in laughter. Jamie and Riley broke apart, chuckling at the ridiculousness before heading over to help sort out the chaos. As filming progressed, the occasional sabotage incidents continued, but Jamie and Riley worked well together to confront the culprits. Each time they thwarted a prank, the deeper their bond grew, until it became harder to ignore the unspoken feelings swelling within. On their last scheduled filming night, Jamie decided to host a wrap party at the local community hall, promising everyone a night full of fun, food, and music. As the crew set up the decorations, Jamie felt a flicker of nerves as she glanced across the hall, catching Riley's eye from across the room. "Are you ready for this?" Riley asked calmly, stepping closer. The energy between them crackled. It was as though they both knew something monumental was about to happen. "More than ever," Jamie said, her voice stronger than the fluttering in her stomach. "I want to show everyone how grateful I am for their support. And I want to make sure you know how much you've meant to me through all of this." Just as they finished setting up, the laughter and chatter began filling the space as familiar faces drifted in. Jamie took a deep breath, leaning on the table, her heart racing. She needed to talk to Riley, share what had been stirring inside her during their time together. Later that evening, as the festivities began to wind down and the guests grew merry with laughter, Jamie caught Riley leaning against the wall, watching the dance floor with an affectionate gaze. "Hey, can we step outside for a minute?" Jamie asked, gathering her courage. Riley nodded, an intrigued smile pulling at her lips as they made their way out to the crisp night air. Stars twinkled in the sky above them, casting a soft glow over their surroundings. "What's up?" Riley inquired, a teasing lilt in her voice. Jamie took a steadying breath, the words she'd rehearsed turning into a jumble in her head. "I wanted to thank you for everything. For believing in me, in this film, and for just being you. You've shown me what it really means to connect with a place and a person." Riley's expression softened and she stepped a little closer, their proximity sending electric tingles through Jamie. "I'm glad I could be here with you. This has been unexpected but wonderful. What if I told you that you've managed to capture my heart just as much as I've wanted to capture this town's?" Jamie sighed, a rush of vulnerability washing over her. The more time we spend together, the more I can't help but realize how I feel about you, Riley. The silence that followed felt charged. Jamie's heart pounded in her chest as she searched Riley's gaze for a sign, any sign of hope. With a gentle smile, Riley stepped forward, closing the gap. I was hoping you'd say something like that. You make me feel things I wasn't expecting either. And while I might be introducing you to this place, it feels like you've brought something new to my life too. Jamie felt her heart soar. So? Riley's grin widened. So how about we turn this connection into something more than just a movie wrap party? With a shared laugh they stepped closer, the space between them filled with new promise. As they stood beneath the moonlight, Jamie felt a sense of belonging wash over her. This was just the beginning, not only for the film, but for something beautifully real developing between them. I'd love that, Jamie replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Their laughter mingled with the night air, two worlds colliding, creating a new narrative neither of them had seen coming. Together under the vast Oregon sky, they embarked on a different kind of adventure, one rooted in love, dreams, and the ever-unfolding story of two souls intertwined. As the laughter from the wrap party faded into the background, Jamie and Riley stood together beneath the twinkling stars, a newfound connection lighting up the cool night air between them. The thrill of honesty and anticipation hung in the space, creating a cocoon of warmth that felt comfortable and exciting all at once. Let's take a walk, Riley suggested, her voice low and inviting. They strolled hand in hand down a softly lit path surrounded by the pines, the peacefulness of the night enveloping them, and Jamie felt a sense of tranquility she hadn't experienced in what felt like ages. I've read that this area is known for its spectacular night skies, Jamie said, looking up to admire the starlit canopy. It's almost like the universe is blessing us with a perfect moment. Riley chuckled softly. You and your romantic notions. I think it's the trees, really. They've witnessed all kinds of stories in their time. Maybe this is just the beginning of ours, Jamie said, squeezing Riley's hand. Riley turned to her, mischief dancing in her eyes. Ours is bound to be unique, that's for sure. With you as a director, there might be quite a few plot twists. As the two women walked, Jamie shared how her experience in IKA when it had changed her outlook on life and filmmaking. You showed me that there's beauty in the mundane, that every place has its own story yearning to be told. And you showed me that dreams can be chased, Riley replied, her voice taking on a serious tone. You've brought this town to life in a way I didn't think was possible. It's been magical to see the shift in everyone's mindset. They're beginning to believe in the possibilities. That's what I've always loved about storytelling, Jamie said, the gears of her filmmaker mind turning. It connects people, brings them together. And you helped me realize, she hesitated, the words feeling heavy with meaning. That love is one of the most powerful stories we can tell. As Jamie looked into Riley's eyes, time seemed to stand still. The world around them faded as they wove their dreams and hopes into an invisible thread tying them together. Just then, a soft rustle interrupted their intimacy as a couple of fireflies flitted past them, illuminating their surroundings with fleeting, luminous beauty. Look at those little guys, Riley laughed, pointing. They're trying to show off. I'd say they're jealous of our spark. They both laughed lightly before their gazes turned serious again, and Riley's expression softened as she stepped a little closer. I want to be part of your story, Jamie. I want to be there for all the experiences and all the unexpected moments. Me too, Jamie replied, her heart swelling. I want you there for the adventures that come after this film, all through the process of creating more stories. They paused and glanced at each other, the weight of the moment palpable. Then, as if in a choreographed dance, they leaned in until their foreheads touched, a gentle reminder of the bond they'd formed in just a short time. Being with you makes me feel brave, Jamie whispered. Braver than I've ever been. Then it's settled, Riley responded, a teasing smile creeping onto her face. We'll take on the world together, one film, and one adventure at a time. As if the universe was validating their pact, the bright moon shone down on them just then, casting a glow that made the world around them feel surreal. After a few more minutes of sweet conversation and laughter, Jamie took a deep breath. "All right, Miss Deputy, I think it's time to celebrate this rap party properly." Riley's eyes sparked with amusement. "Does that involve you unleashing your inner dancer?" "Because I might need to prepare the crowd." Laughing, Jamie led the way back to the hall filled with laughter, music, and celebration. As they entered, everyone cheered for them, the joyous atmosphere a reflection of the genuine merriment they had created together. The rest of the evening blurred together in a whirlwind of lively music, dance-offs, and heartfelt toasts. People congratulated Jamie on her filmmaking but also recognized the chemistry between the director and the town's deputy. "It's always been about more than just the film," one of the local actors said during his toast. "It's a celebration of our stories, and I think you two have created a beautiful one of your own." When Jamie caught Riley's eye from across the room, they exchanged knowing smiles filled with potential. Amidst the festivities, they found moments to steal away, sharing whispers and glances that made their cheeks bloom with warmth. As the night drew to a close, Jamie knew this was just the beginning of both the film she had set out to create and the life she now imagined building alongside Riley. They would confront challenges together, support each other's dreams, and continuously weave their narratives together with each passing day. Once the party officially wrapped up, Jamie and Riley lingered outside, the night still magic in its embrace. "So what's next?" Jamie asked, a hint of excitement laced with uncertainty. "Well, I can think of several local spots we can explore together. If you're up for another adventure." Riley replied, her eyes glinting. "I'm in," Jamie grinned, "especially if it involves you. Let's make our own story, one that nobody can sabotage." Riley took Jamie's hand once more, their fingers entwining comfortably. "You got it. Here's to more wild film sets, unexpected challenges, and making memories." With a touch of romance, Jamie added with a wink. "Always," Riley promised, leaning in for a gentle kiss that sealed their budding partnership, a moment that whispered of potential and the stories they were yet to create. Together, under the vast expanse of the Oregon sky, they walked forward not just as filmmaker and deputy, but as two women ready to embrace the world, their hearts intertwined in a tale of love, laughter, and endless adventures that stretched beyond the horizon.